Hey, what is up everybody, Bladesper here, and today I'm for you guys another video of Persona 5X here. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be going over the Arcane card artifacts, which are these artifacts that you unlock at level 40. They're different from the ones that you unlock at level 35, and a lot of people seem to be a little bit confused on them, so I'm here to pretty much try to make it a little bit easier to understand on these guys. So if you guys are interested in this type of content, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. We hit that 2.9k goal here, going on to the 3k goal as well. So we're gonna keep on pushing. We're gonna keep pushing and seeing how far we can go. But yeah, so in today's video, we're gonna be going over the Arcane cards. This has been something some people have been asking me about, and I've been trying to figure out a way how I could explain this the easiest way possible, especially without having the infographics made, because I will be making those guys very soon to make this a little bit easier to understand. But we're gonna have to try and make do. So let's go ahead and look here. So once we go ahead and click this button, of course, you do have your little 4 sets as well as your main big card, which is called an Arcane card. Now, these said Arcane cards can either just be used for their basic stats that they do very well carry, or be used for their actual set effects that you can use with certain card effects. So to get things straight, right, each card has a certain name. So for example, this one that we are currently on, in which I have the official names, not the ones in the game here. So if you guys want to kind of jot this down for a second, I will have the infographic out here, but I have the official names with these. Some of these are correct, some of these are wrong. So for this one, this card is named Growth. For example, this one here is also named, instead of Dedication, it's actually Focus. We have the other one immediately being different here as well, being named Trust. Another right here being named Faith instead of Beliefs. And then we have this one being, instead of Journey, it is actually Departure. And then lastly, we have the other one, which is, instead of Enlightenment, Awareness. Now with these Arcane cards, each of them have 3 paths, or at least each of them except for Acceptance, in which was oh sorry, I actually got one of them wrong. Sorry about that. Well, there's Acceptance and Departure, which I'll clarify that in a second, of course. But each one of them all have 3 paths except for Faith. Now Faith, of course, ends up actually having a whole different 2-set path here, which would be this guy here. So instead of the 3 buffs, he only has 2 buffs that you can get from it, and this is the only different one out of all of the Arcane cards. Now, as I said before, every Arcane card has a set effect. Okay, you can only get this said buff, as you can see right here, if you are using a 4 set that it requires. So as you can see, Growth and Power, the name of this set is actually Offense or Power. So with that being stated, if I pair a 4 set of Power with this Growth card, I end up getting that said set effect. If I pair it with Conversion or Gorgio, I get those said set effects here, right? So I'm gonna try to make this a little easier and break this down. So we're gonna start with the dude, this is gonna be weird, but yeah, we're gonna start with the Growth card, the one I just had on Joker, right? So if we go ahead and look at the Growth card, which we already did just then, it can only pair with 3 different sets. One of those sets is the Power set, being this one right here. This is the one that I currently have on Joker, in which for pairing those 2 together, you get an effect that increases the maximum amount of a strength stacks from 3 to 5. So that can be stacked up to 5 different times here, giving you a lot more damage. Now, alongside with that's just being one path of the Growth card here, you do have 2 other paths that you can very well do. One of the other paths here is going to rely on this set here, which is going to be called Convert. Now, if you use the Growth card and the Convert 4 set here, you're not only getting the Convert 4 set effect, which is going to be with attack damage as well as Blitz attack, aka electric damage here. Instead of just only getting that 4 set effect, you're also getting the Growth set effect, which is the crit damage of the follow-up attack is increased by 50%. I'll get more into this when Yui comes out. This will probably be more of her set, especially seeing that it's boosting her follow-up attack, of course, a lot, and she's getting more of that crit damage as well when it comes out with that as well. Now, along with the Growth set effect, you have the last one that this goes for, and this one always trips me up because the image but it would end up being, let me make sure I got this correct, this one right here, which are the 4 chalices. So growth, when paired with the 4 chalices, of course, here named, it would be colorful, yes, named colorful. When these are paired up against each other, of course, with the 4 set, you're getting yourself freeze damage as well as some extra 4 set effects, right? But when paired with the growth card, it pretty much does when a unit makes a follow-up attack, which is really good for Mont. It will increase the unit's ice damage by 10%, and this effect will last for 2 turns and can stack up to 3 times. Each stack can be counted independently. Now, that's just for one arcane card, right? Each arcane card are going to do 3 different paths. This is probably going to be a long video because I'm going to try to explain them all to you guys. And if you guys want more of a visual look on this, of course, I will easily try to come out with an infographic as fast as possible, because I'm not going to lie. If you go ahead and look at the card itself here, right, it does tell you the 3 different paths, right? But as you can see, they're totally different. Like I can read it from here, to be honest, but then you won't know which set to actually choose with these guys, right? So I'm kind of doing a little bit of both in one. But that was all for the growth card. Now if we take a look at the focus card, the focus card is a little bit different, in which is the left side here, in which the first one technically is something, of course, different as well. Now the first one is going to apply to, let's go ahead and actually get back into mementos immediately here and show this off. The first one's going to apply to the chalice set. So of course, if you use the 4 set of this chalice here with the focus card, you would end up getting 50% more damage, or at least more crit damage, along with that freeze damage that you're already getting from the actual freeze set. Now, oh, my game's kind of dying. Hold on, let's see if we're gonna work. Come on, buddy, don't kick us off. Don't kick us off in the middle of the video. Okay, good, we got stabilized again. All right. Now the next set that you're gonna be looking at, of course, is gonna be this one at the top here that looks kind of funky. This one specifically, and I'm just gonna make sure I have the correct looking one here. Actually, let me make sure I got that right. There's 2 different ones. Okay, yeah, this is the correct one here. So this one specifically pertains to physical damage. Of course, with the 4 set, you're getting everything that you see currently on the screen, right? Well, if you pair the focus card with this one, the damage of physical and electric attributes, cough cough Ryuji, is increased by 12%. This effect increases to 24% when there is only 1 enemy. Now, take that into account. If this is a single target boss, Ryuji's gonna get a 24% effect of increasing his physical abilities and electric abilities. Keep that in mind. That's awesome for at least single target bossing, and something that would actually make him incredibly strong. All right, and then we have for the last effect for focus here, this is actually going to apply to this one, which is the treatment one here. Now, pretty much whenever you land a critical attack, when landing this critical hit, it will increase the unit's healing effect by 28% and will last for 2 rounds. Now, I'm unsure if you have to land a critical hit every time. Some of these are still kind of weird. I have to try and test them out again just to make sure, but pretty much with focus in that 4 set, you're able to get that set effect. All right, there's 2 of the arcane cards down. I'm gonna have these split apart, probably just like in groups, so hopefully you guys kind of watch through it. Yeah, it's gonna be something that you guys are gonna need to watch through a little bit here. But all right, we're gonna immediately get to the next one. Now the next card I would like to go over is called Harmony. I think I have the card here because not all of these cards are obtainable just yet. Okay, yeah, I do have them. So Harmony also has its 3 paths. Now, one of the paths is with the set that Joker's wearing, or at least that my Joker's wearing currently. And that one, it actually does something totally different than the other ones that we're wearing, right? So let's go ahead and actually show this off. So of course, if you're using this set, which is obtainable fairly easy early on, so it's the only reason I'm wearing it on Joker right now. If you're wearing this with the Harmony set, your party members of the same element as pretty much are gaining 10% damage bonus. This effect can only affect your party members 1 time. Now, this wouldn't be a good little effect to have on Joker. It'd be more of something that like you're using in mono team and it's meant to use like, I don't know, something pretty decent. I mean, you could very well try this on the flame team or some sort, but I don't know if I would recommend that, to be honest. All right. Now, the next set that this can pair with, or at least the Harmony card can also pair with here, it's going to be this one down below. Now, this one down below, it's going to look like this. It's called the Winning Set, if you guys probably have the same translation, but it's meant for Gale damage, pretty much. Well, with this set, when the extra damage from a victory card set is triggered, aka winning, right here, same name, is the effect is triggered, the damage received by the target will be increased by 12%, lasting for 2 rounds. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, the only person who probably used something like this probably Florette, because I would be honest, this does not belong on our man Morgana, so you'll probably use this on Florette. But lastly, the other set effect that you can get with the Harmony card would be this one here. The bottom one right here is the one that you want to pay attention to. Now, this one is meant specifically for core heat, or you would like to say nuke damage, called Truth. Pretty much each time an elemental debuff is caused, the nuclear damage of all Phantom Thieves will be increased by 5%, lasting 2 rounds, and the time for each stack is calculated independently. So you can stack this, of course, but the only way to stack this is independently gained. So whoever does this, of course, whoever has the set on is going to be the person who's able to stack it for themselves here, and this will last for 2 rounds. Now, this is increased by 5%. For every elemental debuff caused, the nuclear damage will be increased pretty much, right? So that's pretty interesting if you're going to be using this set in general, but we only have one character who uses nuke currently, and they're not meant for damaging, so it would make no sense to use it. So there's the Harmony card stuff. All right, so I'm trying not to make this video too long. It's going to be kind of long here. I'm sorry that it's going to be this stinking long, but this is the only way I can kind of like, I want to say, do it descriptively or like ultra in depth while trying to keep everyone along with me, because I was trying to do this video like 4 different times and it's very hard to do. But if you guys made it this far, hit that stinking like button, hit that subscribe button, helps me out quite a lot. And yeah, let's continue. All right, so we're going to be checking out the Trust card. Now, Trust looks like this here. Of course, if you want to know exactly how it looks, Trust has its 3 paths as well. Well, if you go ahead and you pair Trust with our current set that we have on the offensive set that we're using on our Joker, you get an effect that when the battle starts here, you increase your attack of other party members by 10%. This cannot be triggered repeatedly, meaning it can only be triggered once, and it's only for your partners, not for the character who's wearing this. It's only for your partners. So if you have this card set as well as the Trust card on that character, that set character does not get the party buff. The other characters around them do. So this would be more of a support type offensive set. All right. Next thing for the offensive set here that we are looking at, or at least for the Trust Arcane card, the other set that we're going to be looking at is going to be this one. I'm currently using this one on my Soy, and it's more of a defensive type of deal here, or a healing type of reduction deal here, in which when using skills on allies, the damage of all party members will be increased by 8% for 2 rounds. So pretty much if you're using this abundant set, or just kind of defense reduction set, which I'm using for Soy just to make sure he doesn't take too much damage here, he's able to use, of course, his buff skill. Well, whenever he's using a buff skill on allies, which he does on everyone, he's giving everyone also a damage boost. So that's really, really nice to have. All right. Now going ahead and checking out the third set to at least the Trust card, it's going to be this guy right here. Now, this guy right here also pans to the electricity side of things, of course, because this is the electric card set here. So with the electric card set and Trust, when the electric damage buff reaches 3 stacks, the electric damage of all Phantom Thieves will be increased by 12%. This cannot be triggered repeatedly. Now, I would only say this is decent for, I would like to say, Arai. Other than that, I don't think you would put this on anyone, especially if you're going to be using this, but it is pretty good if you're going to use it on Arai. All right, so now we've covered the focus, harmony, growth, and trust cards, which that's only 4 out of the 8. Which is why I said this is probably going to be a long video. All right, so now if we go ahead and we look back here, we're going to be checking out the awareness card. Now, for you guys who don't know what the awareness card looks like here, we're going to go ahead and check this out right there. Boom. This is the awareness card, or enlightenment here, in which for this card, you have your 3 sets. This is not the 2 set one. This has your 3 sets as usual, right? If you go ahead and you pair this card with the, I want to use the first one actually first, make sure I get that one out the way. And you pair this card with this little spiky circle one called Truth, the damage dealt to enemies under elemental debuffs is increased by 12% and can be stacked up to 2 times. So any elemental debuffs, so it's like is Gale and junk like that, those damage, or at least the damage, can now be increased by 12% stacked by 2 times for an over amount of 24%. That's decent, pretty okay. Now, if we go ahead and look at the next set effect that we're looking at here, that's going to pertain to this one. We haven't really used anything that pertains to this set here, and this one's called Sovereignty. Now, if increasing here, this increases the fire damage of the entire party by 6%. If the enemy is burned, it will increase the fire damage of the party by an additional 6%, lasting for 2 rounds. So this is straight up just fire damage. Now, it's kind of weird because I don't understand why this here is totally different from like fire damage in general. I'm unsure if there even is a fire damage set, because if so, that's probably the fire damage set just transcribed wrong, in which I'll have to check that out as well just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure this might be fire damage set, but I'm unsure. But seeing that we do get that set effect, you use this set effect with the awareness card, boom, you get some fire damage increase and stuff like that. Cool. Now, this awareness card also pertains to Joker's actual set, which is the interruption set. Each damage dealt to an enemy with a debuff increases the unit's own attack by 9%. This will last for 1 round, but can be stacked up to 3 times. So, I'm unsure if that means every other round that you keep proccing this, that can keep stacking. Unsure if that's what it means, or if it means you have to hit them 3 times in order to do that. I think it does just stack every other round, which is decent. So, I mean, pretty decent for an awareness card, of course. Pretty good that you're going to be using this for. All right, so now we're going to be checking out the departure card. Slowly getting to the end of this here. Sorry that it's taking so long, you guys, but I'm just trying to make sure everyone's all caught up with me. So, all right. So now that we're looking at the actual departure card, departure is going to look like this. This is departure. So departure has three different cycles as well. So if we go ahead back out here and we go ahead and click this immediately here, we're going to be looking at this guy. So with the departure arcane card in this set, when using these skills to attack an enemy, the main target's defense will be reduced by 23% for 2 whole rounds. Now that's pretty darn good. I would possibly put this on, like, I don't know, it has to be someone who's kind of on the fire team that is meant to be kind of like like they're good, right? But they're meant to just sit there and kind of support. I would use that on them, to be honest. Now, of course, the departure card with its other set effect that you guys are probably going to want to use here is going to be this weird mushroom looking one right here, right? So this one, whenever you use the departure card in this set here, the abundance one, when attacking an enemy, the damage of all party members is increased by 8% for 1 round. Pretty decent, but seems kind of lackluster. Then we're going to go ahead and look back to the last set that the departure card covers, and that's going to be interruption once again here. and pretty much using the departure card with the interruption set. After defeating the enemy, your own attack is increased by 30%, lasting for 3 rounds. Now that's awesome, pretty dang good. The only issue with this is you have to first defeat the enemy, and it's only a solo buff. I feel like it's really good if you have a hyper carry, but I'm unsure if you would be able to actually utilize that for most situations, even for Joker. So it's going to be kind of interesting with that. Now coming down to our final two, or at least our next one here, which is going to be called Acceptance. Now Acceptance, I'm pretty sure I have the Arcane card of it. I'm pretty positive I got the Arcane card of it. I'm hoping I do. Please. Okay, here it is. Acceptance. Now Acceptance also has its 3. Acceptance is going to immediately start with a set that looks somewhat like this. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Let me find it because it's around here. The first one of this one here, right? So this one is going to be called Peace. It's going to be defense related. So if you use Acceptance Arcane card with the 4 set of Peace, each time you are attacked, your defense will increase by 40% for 2 rounds. Unsure if that stacks. It does say each time you're attacked, so it might stack. And this could be a really good set as well for what is it called? For one of your defenders that you do need here that has some taunt. But it also goes for a shield effect thing here. So I would think this would be more of Yuki's alley, especially if you're going to be using it, right? Now, with the other set effect that it gives, the Arcane card gives with a different set, is going to be, I think, this guy right here. Because, no, it's this guy right here. Because it has the little long thing on the top right now, right? So looking at the long little guy here, I think I have this correct. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do. I'm so confused with this at times. We are looking at disputes. Now, with Acceptance and Disputes, you are able to pretty much each enemy on the field increase your attack by 8% up to 40%. So this attack little stack here can increase all the way to 40%. Seeing this is a fire damage set, and actually this is the fire damage set. So the other one, I guess it was really called Life. It's weird, but this is the fire damage set. So with that in mind, whoever is your fire DPS, cough cough on. If you're using this on her, each enemy on the field will increase your attack up by 8%, going all the way to 40%. So keep that in mind. Now, lastly, we do have our last one of the sets for Acceptance, in which will be the treatment set. Now, going with this said treatment set, we are going to be looking at this one once again, which is a holy crap, I'm starting to run out. All right, when using healing skills, your own attack power is increased by 25%. This only happens if you're using the Acceptance card and a 4 set of the treatment one. So keep that in mind. But I digress. Boom, cool, we got that done. Now it's for the last set. Sorry that this video is way stinking longer than it should be, or I guess way longer in general, but boom, we're looking good. Whew, okay. All right, let's keep going. We're down to our last freaking set here. So last set pertains to Faith. Now Faith only has 2 set effects, as I said earlier, 2. With those 2 set effects, it only goes with 2 sets, of course, right? So 4 set in itself will give you certain things, right? So for a 4 set of this set being called Peace, right? Or whatever you guys have it named as, just this set at the very end, and the Faith card, each time a shield is added, the defense of the party member affected by the shield increases by 7%, lasting for 2 rounds, and this can be stacked up to 3 times. Boom, another good defensive set, of course, right? All right, now lastly, we're getting to this one, and finally, God, I'm able to actually kind of take a breather for a little bit. But with this last set, love, once again, if you have the 4 set of this one and the Faith card, every 800 health points increases the healing effect by 1%, and the maximum healing effect can be increased by 20%. Keep that in mind. All right, that was everything. I hope it made sense. I'm gonna make sure to, like, what's it called, just have the timestamps in between the video. I highly recommend you guys sit through and just watch it through, because it's gonna be just a mouthful. It's crazy. Each timestamp is gonna be interesting. You're gonna be literally in the middle of it, so whew, it's gonna be interesting. But hopefully you guys end up enjoying this here. I'm gonna try to get those infographics up probably tonight if possible. But I am probably gonna stream tonight, so it'll probably be tomorrow, of course. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Jesus. All right. So, all right, that's all I'm gonna do. Thank you guys, and hope you guys have a wonderful one. Peace.